This is the March 28th, 2018 meeting of the Aardman Conservation Commission. This meeting is being recorded and can be viewed later on at the town website, which is aardmanguide.com. The first item on tonight's agenda is a 7 o'clock public hearing. LSS-MA Farms LLC, request for determinations of applicability for lots 3, 4, and 5, and notices of intent for lots 1 and 2 for the installation of a commercial solar collection facility on property located at 476 Leicester Street and 500 Leicester Street. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed to vote. Good evening. And gentlemen, I must also ask you if you're recording this meeting.
We are not. No, we're not.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I got
Oh, you got that email?
Yes.
It's our...
Good evening.
Good evening.
Everybody acknowledges
Yeah,
it.
this was to the planning board.
Oh, okay.
I think so. Just pass them around. I don't have one, but I'm sure I'll have
Okay.
one. Just pass
For
them.
the record, Nick Fasandola, Level Design Group, here on behalf of Seaboard Solar. With me is Pedro Rodriguez. He's also Seaboard Solar's representative for this project. And so we last left you guys a month ago. We
Yeah.
came in and went over our revised plan that was a response to Graves Engineering's first set of comments. Since that time, we have responded to a second set of comments. It was about 4 or 5 comments on the revised plan.
Right.
Real basic stuff. I can go over those with you now and show you what's changed since the last time we've been here.
Please.
So I'll go over those real quick. So the big change from the original plan that we submitted was we've added all these new driveways to provide access around the site for fire, public safety, and just better access throughout the property for maintenance purposes. So you can see these are all detailed in blue here. Graves Engineering had a comment about this hammerhead in this area. Initially we had it at 58 feet wide. They wanted that widened out so it could accommodate a fire truck.
Right.
So we had it essentially designed for an ambulance. They wanted to see it be a little bit bigger, so we increased the length of it to 118 feet. And did some revised grading in here. We had to push down into the buffer zone an extra about 10 feet with grading. So we're still outside the 50-foot buffer, but we had to come down in here into the 50 to 100-foot zone a little bit more than we had previously to accommodate the larger driveway. And another comment from the most current Graves set of comments was they wanted the turnarounds to be no more than 4% slope, so we had them a little bit higher than that, so that's why we had to regrade this area, and we also regraded these areas up here where all the turnarounds are, so those all comply with the 4% maximum slope within the turnaround area. Graves also had some concerns about some of these panels that were located along this driveway. So what we did, these ones I highlighted in red, we shifted those over to this side, and those 5 panels are now located over here. Essentially, they thought the driveway was too close to the panels, so they want to make sure that there was enough space for, like I said, a larger fire safety vehicle to come down this driveway and make this turn. So we shifted those panels around a little bit. And that pretty much addresses those outstanding comments. There was one section in my stormwater report where I deleted a sentence at the end of the conclusion of a section of the narrative, and I corrected that and resubmitted that also. So overall, very minor changes to what was previously submitted.
Do we have a copy of the stormwater plan?
We do, yes.
we do.
Here it is right here. This was the one dated March 14th. Is that the most recent one? Or is it
March
the-
14th is the most recent, yep.
Okay. Did you want them?
Sure.
There you go.
So after we responded to all those, Graves Engineering sent out a final letter saying they were okay with the plans as designed. Everything complies with stormwater standards.
Do we have that letter?
No, but the planning board just sent that
Okay.
thing that they okayed it, so I'm sure
Saying
if
that
they
pushed
did.
it April 10th, right? I think they said that they pushed it to April 10th pending
They
us.
did,
Pending
yeah, but I
our-
think that everything was, they were all
Okay.
set with everything.
But
according
you
to-
can get a copy of that letter.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, I can send it to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, they're waiting our approval.
Okay. So, is it fair to say that, I mean, obviously you had to make a number of changes to satisfy the planning board, but with respect to the wetland impact, there's no difference?
Overall, no. Like I said, other than this grading in this area, getting a little bit closer to the resource area within that 50 to 100 foot buffer zone area. Other than that, there's really no major impact. You can see this is the 100-foot buffer line all through here. So we kept all our grading out of there. These are the lots that we have the RDAs on,
Right.
3, 4, and 5. So there's a little bit of grading. No, that's actually out of the 100-foot zone too. So pretty much all the disturbance for those 3 lots outside the 100-foot buffer zone, the 3 RDA lots. Over here, just some grading for the turnaround and the stormwater basin, a little bit of grading up through here. Like I said, all that is outside the 50-foot buffer zone because it is an undisturbed area, so we made sure to stay out of that zone. This basin, roughly the same, nothing really changed with this basin other than we relocated the outlet pipe at the request of the abutter that we went over with at the site walk. That basin now outlets in this area right here. That's in the 100-foot buffer zone, just to make the elevation that we had to outlet that pipe. So we just have a little riprap pad, and I believe it's a 15-inch discharge
Okay.
that's right on the edge of the 100-foot buffer zone, with the rest of the disturbance just being the riprap pad.
Is that your final plan?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we'll issue construction plans
Right.
before they go to construction, but yeah, for the time being, this is the final plan.
And I'm just curious, what's the date of that plan?
The date, well, these are the actual final plans here.
Alright.
Let me make sure you guys have
One
these.
set.
Yes, the 314 is the final plan.
Okay.
This is just a compiled plan that
I
is kind of
understand.
easier to show all the lots.
Is that what you used
I
with the
did
planning
have a
board?
set for
Correct, yes,
everybody here,
yep.
I'm not paying attention. There was a set for everybody,
All right.
but each,
Was there always just 3 detention basins?
Yes.
And any special ID things or any sprinklers or just anything added to those to kind of help ease our concerns? Because it's just such a big site, so much slope, so much potential water. I mean, if you got, I mean, I'm not an engineer, but you've obviously thought about it, but is there any way you could go over more of like the stormwater stuff that you've proposed?
Sure.
I don't know, I mean, if it's all standard, I guess that's...
Yeah, no, I mean, nothing's really changed. We have 3 basins located on the property. So we have this one basin here, which is located essentially adjacent to the property line to capture and slow down any runoff coming from this portion of the site. You can see everything's kind of graded down towards this way. So we're collecting a large portion of this area through here. So we have the basin, then I have a swale that kind of stretches all the way out over here to collect as much of that surface runoff without, using. It's a tough site where you can't really use a catch basin or anything like that because you don't have any type of area to collect. So I just tried to site the basins in the low points where the water was naturally going and kind of supplemented that with swales that led to those basins. So we have this one here, the swale starts here and kind of runs into the storage portion of the basin. And the same thing here, this large hill, essentially up through here, all sheds down this way, coming through here. So what I did was I put a little swale here to catch any of this coming down through here. This all runs naturally towards the basin, and we left the grading to be, to work with that natural grade, so we're not having a hump or anything. Everything's just gonna kind of run right into the basin. And then, same thing here, we have this basin located in this area, and the large portion of the runoff from the site runs down towards here. So the way we calculated those
How many
flows,
square feet of stormwater, what could it hold?
these, oh, I don't know off the top of my head, I mean, a couple, I'd say, a couple acres, acre feet, I would say, in each of these. These are quite large. I mean, this is about 140 feet long. So, same thing with this one. This one's about 100 feet long. And this one's a little bit smaller, but it's a smaller area. Things you gotta remember, we don't have any pavement on the site. There's still a lot of vegetation, even though we are doing a lot of clearing. You know, this central portion up through here is gonna remain wooded, right up through here. This is all gonna remain wooded. This large portion is gonna remain wooded, so is in this area here. And by working the site, we've pulled a little bit of the area that was flowing this way is now going to be coming towards this direction. So we're able to get away without having to put any stormwater basins up here because we've changed the amount of water area-wise that that's going towards this area, and it's now coming down here. So it all kind of balances out.
The roads that you're putting in, is it going to be crushed stone? It's not going to be paved, is it?
The access,
Yes.
all crushed stone. There's going to be a small little paved apron right here just to kind of protect the roadway where the site hits the existing pavement. So when the trucks are coming in and out during construction, it kind of protects the existing roadway because it's a narrow roadway right there. We're coming down a steep slope. So it's about a 20-foot apron we're proposing right here just until the vehicles can kind of turn, get the wheels turned, and get going up the driveway. That's the only bit of pavement we're proposing.
And what's your timetable for construction?
I'll leave that to Pedro.
Thank you.
So, if everything goes the way it's supposed to be, assuming that we obtain all the municipal approvals, this project is planning to go in the SMART program, which I'm sure you guys know the program is still being written and it's supposed to start by like June, July. And this project will probably go in block 2 or 3, meaning that we'll have to wait a little bit before the project gets into the program. So if everything goes the way it's supposed to be, like the fastest that we could start construction will be like the end of the year, the 4th quarter.
Okay.
And the entire, like we still, like right now we have an estimated construction schedule. It hasn't been detailed because we're a little far away from it. But the entire construction is estimated to be at least 4 to 5 months, if weather permits. And the entire cleanup will probably happen in less than 2 months.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine you're going to spend a fair amount of time clearing out the site.
Yeah,
Clearly.
and yes, exactly. And the idea is to start clearing from lot 1, and kind of as soon as we get to lot 2, the EPC company will start grading this. And then once this starts grading, we're going to start installation. So it's going to be going in stages.
Sure. Okay.
And you said that clearing is going to start in a couple of months?
Well,
It started?
no.
Oh no. The clearing will probably take about 2 months. But like it's now going to start in the 4th quarter this year.
Oh, so nothing's going to start until the 4th quarter?
Yeah,
Okay.
that will be in the perfect scenario.
2 months to
Understood.
clean.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
How far is it away from the bridge that proceeds to Leicester Street, where Rochdale comes into it?
The low bridge?
Approximately, yes. I understand this is Leicester Street that goes into Leicester. It also goes into Auburn, it goes by the reservoir.
So,
I can't quite see it.
sorry, this is something that we submitted to the planning board.
You can take that.
That's not
Okay,
around.
sorry, well, just with Ben.
So the low bridge, this is the side. The low bridge,
The low bridge, right.
is located right here. So for that, the estimated trucking route that we have is going up to Leicester and then just coming down Auburn Street. And then,
Come down Auburn, yeah.
yeah, coming down Auburn Street and taking a left.
And then to Leicester, okay.
And we have notified the town of Leicester that that is the estimated trucking route. We send them the same plans that they have no issue.
Planning board, okay.
Yeah, I talked to the town planner, Michelle, I think his name is, and I told her, that once we have a finalized construction schedule and finalized truck and route, even though that we don't have to because it's a public road, we're still gonna submit it to the town of Leicester. If something were to happen, we're committed that we're gonna work it out with them.
So it's not going to be tying up that, coming down Rochdale Street, proceeding around Leicester Street? It's not going to tie that up at all, right?
Oh, no, going on the low bridge?
Yes, the low bridge, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're not gonna go on the low
Okay,
bridge.
okay.
After construction, yeah, the normal maintenance is gonna be, no.
Okay.
No required.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Operation and maintenance says there's a plan, but I don't see one. Is that?
That didn't change from the original submission, so if that's in the original booklet, what would you like to know about it?
I just want to know how often you're going to be inspecting the silt fence, and is there plans for removal of sediment and that kind of stuff that
Well, we're going to file full NIPD's permit because, we're over that 5-acre threshold, so it's the upper level NIPD's permit. So, we'll have a full storm, we haven't produced a full stormwater pollution prevention plan. As far as erosion controls go, we have a sheet up here. Pull it up.
And these are your sets. Michael,
actually should ask about those pads too?
Can I get a copy?
why don't you take this?
So we have perimeter erosion controls that run, through along the perimeter of the proposed work. Kind of follows up through here, stops at the bridge, kind of comes down here, comes along the basin, up and around, and then back down and around. So that's the perimeter erosion controls.
Okay.
And then, as like Pedro said, they're gonna essentially work their way in, clear lot 1, move on to lot 2, start
Ready.
grading and installing here. So once, as those portions go in, we're going to be putting intermediate erosion controls along the steeper slopes, which is a large portion of the site. These are about 100 feet apart, so we have, they're almost be like check dams essentially. So we'll have these areas in pink are intermediate erosion controls for the steeper areas following the existing grade. So we'll install those in addition to the perimeter erosion controls. But the goal is we're not going to have a lot of exposed soil, so it's go in, cut the trees, pull the stumps, grind everything that they can, spray it over the site, and that is going to do a lot of work to prevent the
Stump grindings.
and tree grindings.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
under, I think it's 8 inches, 8 to 10 inches,
Those are great.
they'll grind. So that's all going to be spread over the site in about 3-inch thick layer,
Yeah, I think
plus or minus, is what they shoot for. So that will work to stabilize the site. You're not going to have a lot of exposed soil, so that's how we're looking to control a lot of the construction period possible sediment issues. But you never know what's going to come up, so we do have provisions on the sheet and on the plan for temporary sediment basins, sizing of those. That's all going to be detailed in the stormwater pollution prevention plan if they're needed. So, there'll be inspections I'm assuming you guys will be coming by and doing inspections.
Well, in fact, yes, and we'd also like to be copied in when you file with Region 1, 2 for your NEPDIS permit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we'll be doing weekly inspections as
Right.
part of that.
We
If there's
get
a
copies of
heavy storm event,
Yeah.
I think it's over a 1/4 inch of rain, we're required to go out there. Somebody's
Right.
required to go out there and do an inspection. So it's going to be one of those.
So typically, just what I learned at this last conference is we'd love to have their contact information, the inspector, and then copies of those reports. That'd be great.
Yeah, we usually submit the SLPP weekly reports
Right.
to the Conservation Commission, to inspect the entire site if there's any issues with
Right.
like silt fence or hay bales, that gets replaced.
And again, you'll see then if you need to remove sediment or anything sediment.
Yeah, replace, if you do have an area that's seeing a lot of flow or with sediment in it, that'll clog up the silt fence, and that silt fence needs to be
Right.
replaced.
They also suggested using some sort of wired silt fence. Have you thought of that or used that before?
Wired.
We've used it
It's
before.
just a little more solid.
Yeah,
has a
we used
little
it
more-
before. That's probably what we're going to be using in
At
here.
least on
because
the
of
lower
steepness.
parts, yeah.
Yeah. It'll last longer too.
And the 50-foot is going to be a nice vegetative buffer anyway.
Correct, yes.
Great.
Yes, I mean, we're pretty far out of the, like I said, the only areas we're doing any disturbance in the buffer zones are, like I said, it's a little bit of grading, stormwater basin, and, essentially that outlet, that outfall that we place there at the request of the abutter. And then, there is the existing disturbed area,
Was
which...
there a second point of entry that he was worried about on his property? I forget. Was that the only one?
oh yeah, he was concerned about this basin down here. I did remove that one.
Move that outlet up.
That outlet
Yep.
was pointed this way,
Right.
just because it was a more
going
direct
straight down,
flow
yeah.
path. But it's fine. We have the elevation to move that, so I moved that over here and have a nice long riprap apron at the end of that also. So we made those changes to accommodate the abutter.
Yeah, and we also added, sorry.
Go ahead. I just said,
Yeah, go ahead.
we had talked about doing secondary containment for any generators or oil and gas and stuff like that during construction. I don't know if you guys... Just the
So, like, if we have a fueling
generator,
station,
fuel, yeah,
or-
that sort of
okay.
stuff. Any-
Um,
anything like
Not
that.
just even just a fueling station, just for the trailers that are on site with the generators. I'm sure you're going to need power while you're there? No?
I'm assuming there'll be...
No power?
No.
Oh, okay, the last guy said you were going to need power.
Just if you happen to have generators there or any fuel storage, that
Yeah,
kind
I
of stuff.
mean, maybe, we'll have like a small generator, but it's not like we're going to have like a
Right.
fuel
Oh,
station
okay.
over there, yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can just get a small secondary.
I mean, we'll have,
containment system.
in all the NIPD's plans I do, I require that they have a spill containment kit.
Right, but this is just a
on
little
site.
extra. It'll just be
Yeah.
cheap, I promise.
No, it's fine. I mean, like I say, we're going to be submitting construction plans to the building department,
Okay,
and I'm sure, they will be sent copies to the Conservation Commission if any comments that you guys want to add.
right. Will there be a construction trailer?
Yes, the
It'll-
project.
it'll move around
Yeah,
as
there'll be
you
a
guys-
construction trailer with all the information.
Yeah.
Like for example, planning board asked us to put some signage. For example, like one coming out of the side, like a no left turn side
Right.
sign because of the low bridge. Like all those signage will be added to the construction plans.
It's pretty cold here in quarter four in New
Yeah.
England.
I mean, I think
You're gonna need
once-
some heat.
Yeah. I mean, once they get in off of lot 1, they'll probably establish, because it's already cleared, home base over by where the existing house was. They're going to pull the foundation and really just crush it in place and fill it, because right now it's a liability. It's a big hole that fills up with water, so they don't want to have that liability. So that's going to be crushed and filled in place. But they do have the big loop driveway, and there's a little paved section up there that exists. So, I mean, that's the area that makes sense, and I would assume that that's where...
Have they done any environmental testing on the house materials?
There's really nothing there.
Or
It's,
asbestos?
the house has been taken down. There's nothing, the house is gone. It's just the foundation from the old pool. I guess
And you
was
guys lucked out, probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it burned. So
The pool can have PCBs in it sometimes, too.
For general information, who's benefiting by the solar energy release?
We don't know that yet. That's one of the things that's still being worked out throughout the SMART program. As right now, the latest guidelines that we received is that we're going to be selling the power directly to the company, in this case National Grid, and National Grid is going to be in charge of transferring those credits to our offtake. So usually, we have an APA, a PPA agreement, power purchase agreement with the town, and we usually sell those credits and are in charge of, doing the credit. And it seems like in this MAP program, the utility is going to be taking care of that, and it's still being worked out. Like at this point,
We have no idea where it's going to be.
we don't know.
Sure, okay.
Yeah. And usually, like even though we're always contacting housing authorities, towns to sell the powers, like we don't even like sit down in a formal conversation until we have all the approvals obtained, because the town pretty much don't want to waste that time.
Have you selected a contractor to do the site work?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. I mean, we're still in the bidding process. We're working on right now the construction of 3 different sites, and we have selected a contractor for those 3 projects in Sheffield, Oxford, and Charlton. We are probably going to be using the same one, but we're still doing the bidding process.
And, all right, so you have 3 projects that are sort of in the planning phase like this one.
No, the 3 projects are in construction right now.
Oh, they are in construction?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with the work of the contractor in those
So
projects?
far, yeah. I mean, the only thing that we have done so far is just clearing the site. We haven't started installation. But yeah, we're satisfied. The same clearing company that we have used in the past. They're called Northern Landscape.
Okay.
They are based in Connecticut, but they have done multiple projects, almost all the projects in the past 2 years. So they like keep most of the equipment here in Massachusetts.
I see. Okay, very good.
Thank you. So would you say that we go in Oxford?
We have Oxford, Charlton, and Sheffield will start the clearing. I think it's like next week.
Who was the
weekend.
last town?
Sheffield, Massachusetts.
Sheffield.
Sheffield?
Yeah.
Sheffield.
Oh, okay.
West.
Cheers.
Yep.
This is actually very east for these guys, most
Yeah,
of the projects
I thought
are
you were saying something that was local and I wasn't understanding.
more out west.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Are there any other questions? If there are none, is there a motion to close?
I move to close.
I'll second that.
All right, is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. I think we'll be rendering a decision this evening.
All right. Just to keep things clear for your decision purposes, as it's going to be on record, each project it has a separate applicant. So if you look at the cover sheet, Lot
Yeah.
1, it just reference your decision to the listed applicant.
Right.
Yeah, we know that, I know that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
And we reminded all the boards as
Yeah.
they went forward, so, because it's, there's Leicester Street Solars for Lot 1 and so on and so forth.
Sure.
AUB is Lot 2, so, yeah.
Understood.
Your record's clear of all that.
Yes, you actually get
We like to make it complicated and have 5 separate names.
5 separate decisions from us.
Correct,
Yeah.
yes.
All right, very good.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
And,
Nice to see you
we'll be in
guys.
touch.
Great night. I'll give this back.
Have a good night.
I don't know if we have this, but this is the most updated. It's got a date.
Yeah, March.
Yeah, this goes to
Well,
March 19th.
I think-
Actually, 14th on there.
It is March 14th, and I think
Okay.
in our decisions, we need to make reference to the revised plan of March 14th.
Yeah.
So, my thought is that I think we should do this exactly as they said, which is we do them one at a time.
Yeah.
My suggestion would be that there are requests for determination of applicability for lots 3, 4, and 5. So my suggestion would be that we do those first.
Okay.
And my thought is that, I mean, again, if the board is inclined to issue negative determinations of applicability, I think a reference has to be made to the most recent plan and the revisions.
Negative meaning it's not affecting it?
Negative meaning that they don't have to file notice of intent.
It's hard because they're really not, I mean, on these.
I think there's way
Yeah.
too many resource areas.
What's not on there?
You're right, but by our jurisdiction,
Anything that can affect the resource areas in our
Stormwater.
can't affect.
I'm
Right on.
concerned about this.
I learned a lot at this conference, you guys.
Clearly you did.
You did.
Yeah.
You did to Holy Cross, absolutely.
I didn't go to that one.
Well, it was all
I couldn't go to
stormwater
that
and the SWPP plans.
Well, make your case.
Yeah.
I just believe there's a lot of resource areas there, and we need a little more oversight.
Okay.
I think it'll allow us to request, reports and do the inspections and have more, just more involvement, I guess.
Okay.
It's just huge, very big site, lots of resource areas.
Well, when you say resource areas, yeah, I need you to be more specific.
Lots of vegetated wetlands.
Show me.
BVWs.
Show me where.
There you go. I gotta give this to you because I can barely see it. There you go.
Looking at lot 1.
All right.
No,
No.
that's 3, 4, 5.
3, 4,
Okay,
5.
3, 4,
So that's
five.
We're at
three.
number 3 right now.
Yeah.
Look at what we're doing, yes.
Yeah.
Where are you trying to say that
So we have to be,
separating it out loud? There aren't a lot of resource areas?
I'm saying that the regulations, I think, are very precise. And I think if you, go ahead, make your case.
I'm not sure I know how to.
Aha.
okay, well, wait. So, so there was, which one was the one that we were in? 50?
The thing about this
The
is,
one that
you need to lay all these out together to
I
actually
know.
show. That's the difficulty when you have it on this scale. Right. But I'd much rather deal with these than to deal with the huge ones.
Right, this is one.
But you gotta kind of look at it as a layout like this.
Michael's got the huge ones.
Michael does have the huge ones over it.
Michael's got the little. Well, needs to make a case.
That is definitely one of the factors.
C2,
C2.
They have to
These
go
ones
to
here.
us with them.
C1, A, B, and C.
Now they're just-
These are all, you lay them out together. So this is like basically existing conditions. This is what they propose to do. This shows the detail of the panels. Then here they're showing the erosion control on these last two. And the other ones are just typical design features of each different kind of structure. But like I said, here you go. Now if you look at this, this is showing that
Yeah, right here.
you're not seeing all the stuff, but you're getting a better idea of scale on the outside.
Again, here's the plan in the corner, here's the site.
Yeah.
In relation to 3.
I think you can make a case
I-
for Lot 3. I'm not sure you can make a case for 4 and 5, because I think 4 and 5 are uplands.
I agree.
Okay. So if you want to issue a positive determination for Lot 3,
That's what I would propose.
okay,
Yeah, I understand that.
all right, so is that your motion? We're talking, it's all right, don't be shy.
I don't know
All
how
right.
to do it.
Okay, so you're moving for a positive determination for Lot 3, which will require the filing of a notice of intent, correct?
Exactly.
All right, is there a
I
second?
will second that.
All right, is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed to vote.
That's a positive on 3.
Okay.
All right?
With respect to 4, Lot
Yeah,
4.
just there's a lot of,
Yeah.
This one is going to be up. That one's up down. And most of that is all completely out. And there's going to be mostly completely out. 100%.
How far away is that?
And they're going to keep the woods here.
Yeah, nice.
And that one,
Right.
it is what it is.
I agree.
Like the Stoneville Reservoir, how far away? A couple miles away.
Yeah, it's not just.
I know, I'm thinking aquifer.
I would love to say that, but.
I know,
Yeah,
wouldn't you? Wouldn't you?
No.
I know, he's
No, absolutely not. I propose that we do a negative determination for Lot 4 on that one.
Okay.
I don't see any problem.
All right, there's a second by Allison. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
before we vote, I just want to make, when we visited this site,
Yep.
you, Mike, myself, and Carolyn were with the other person that went there first.
Yes.
And we never did see the foundation, which is shown on this plan here. Remember when we walked up the road? I don't recall seeing it.
Yeah,
So like, I kind of feel like I don't want to vote on this because I haven't seen this.
okay.
Do you know what I mean? But given that it's upland, I would probably concur with everybody else here, whatever they decided,
Okay.
because it's upland from the other one that we issued a positive on.
He's gonna have to get a building permit for a demo or anything up there, just to let you know
Yeah.
that.
Okay,
On what, on
Okay.
4?
Yes.
yeah, I'm looking at
If he's got a pool
C148.
or a foundation of any sort, he's
Yeah.
gonna have to get a demo permit, and they're gonna have to tell him how they want to have it crushed and filled.
Sure,
They don't just go filling it in.
okay.
So,
All right, so there's a motion, there's a second by Allison. Are you satisfied?
I'm satisfied.
Okay.
4.
Is there any discussion? Further discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, so vote.
So it's a negative.
This one's even further up.
Negative on
This is the
4.
one that we had crawling right up.
Okay.
You guys.
Because it is, there's so
She
much
was on the other
slope up
side.
there. I mean, it's
is.
crazy.
So
Like,
these
it's-
guys
I would-
looking at the
I would just like to see when they do all this work, because there's just so much. I mean, we were
There's
pushed,
still a lot
we were
of,
in the outback when we went up there. It was crazy.
yeah, there's a lot
It
of,
was-
there's
it
a
was
lot.
unbelievable.
You're okay up
Yeah.
there.
It was the slopes and everything,
All right,
but this is all up above, so.
That 5 should be
You have a really nice buffer in there.
on the road there.
Proposed screening trees.
that is saying straw wattles are gonna be there, all the other stuff is gonna be in line. Putting the wire in, the catch basins are in. I propose
And
that,
the rough grading is really ideal as well.
yeah,
You know, helping the stormwater have more time to infiltrate.
Well, you know, if you think about it, because these panels are set above the ground, I mean, there is an increase in impervious area, but really not that much. I mean, the only increase in impervious area is where they go into the ground.
Right, and then they kind of, the
3
water will
feet.
collect like around the
Around 'em.
edges.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we said about 3 feet. Is that how deep they go into the ground?
We have to wait for Sheila to come back anyway, so.
I was just saying to the end of it. Actually, under lot 5.
There's no grade,
See the
don't even
whole
have
thing
to grade
warming
over
out.
there, it's just grade.
I think this one's good.
this was the,
Yeah. Just on the
Let's just
road.
do it right here. So, it's right there.
Yeah, it's like right
Yes,
there.
lot 3 is lot 1.
This Lester's on the other side of that.
Yeah, and that's, like you said, that's where they're gonna have to come in when they do.
From here, from here, from here, from Lester.
You guys wanna do that one, or do you want me to?
Yeah, not here at all.
You wanna
Which one are
do
we
it?
on now?
Lot 5.
Because that could be a distraction, coming out, traffic problems. Okay.
I
Come on,
propose we
let's-
do a negative determination for lot 5.
Gotta be quick around here.
I'll second that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, so vote.
Okay, so we have a positive and negative.
This one, lot 2.
All right, so lots 1 and 2, standard orders plus.
Did we do
And
the
Sheila,
wrong
can I
one?
trouble you for another copy of our special conditions? I think I've only asked you for about 20 of them over the last couple of years.
They changed a while ago, so you've got an excuse.
All right, thank you.
I rushed to do those, so I didn't have to do this part, just saying.
No, nice try.
Yeah.
This is 2? Yeah, this is
So
2.
this is the long lot, so this one has like.
Let's do 1 first. If you don't-
All right, okay. That's the one that's going to
Oh, stick this one.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so who wants to volunteer?
I'll go.
I honestly don't.
All right.
All right.
Okay, go.
I make a motion that we issue for Lot 1 applicant Leicester Street Solar LLC, a standard order
Right?
plus 1, 2, 3, 5 5,
5, yeah.
7,
Right?
8, 9.
Yep.
Should we put 10 on there? I don't know if they did.
No.
No.
11.
11, 12, 13, and that's it.
Okay, and I would also add the following. Right? To the extent that any generators or equipment using fuel is kept on site, that there be secondary containment, that we receive copies of inspectors' reports, and that we also are copied on the NEPDIS, and that's an acronym, capitals NPDES, permitting process with the Region 1 of the EPA.
Okay. Okay. And as accordance to the plan,
Oh, and
dated
dated
revised.
March 14th, it makes reference to the plan, March 14th of 2018. Also, comments made by Graves Engineering and the responses from the applicant. Okay, is there a
You want
second?
to just go over those numbers again? I think I missed one.
Sure. Standard order plus 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, and 13.
Thank you.
Does 13 ever, do you ever get anything back for that? Like what they did or what happened or?
Well, the provision survives issuance of certificate of compliance, or if we get complaints, then we can issue an enforcement order based on that.
Okay, but they
But to
would,
answer your question, no.
no, they wouldn't.
No. Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? It's a vote. And Tom, I think you're probably, it's going to be the same for Lot 2.
Correct. Just to- yep. Make a motion that we issue for Lot 2 applicant Auburn Development LLC. The same, basically the same as Lot 1,
Talk
correct?
about the wires.
1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13. Got it?
Plus the
Yeah,
the
plus-
other
plus-
conditions.
Plus
Plus the other conditions.
Plus Mike's other
Which you
plan
have.
and everything, yeah, got all that.
Okay.
And this will also make reference to the most recent plan of March 14th of 2018, comments from Graves Engineering and the responses from the applicant. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, is there any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote. Right.
We got 1, 2.
Thank you, gentlemen. So,
One's to be signed.
you got 4 out of 5.
Well, we'd like to go on, we'd like to have a reasoning on the record
2 out of 5?
No, sir, we've made our decision.
for the decision. I didn't hear a reason. Or there's essentially no disturbance in the buffer zone.
Well,
I don't know how I can file a notice of intent for no disturbance in a jurisdictional area.
I think, well, you have a detention area that, or detention basin that's located right at the base of that lot.
On lot 3?
Yes, sir.
I'm not in the jurisdictional area though.
Well,
Plus is 3, okay.
Is it not lot 3?
No, lot 3 was fine.
Lot 2 has the detention basin and buffer zone.
no,
I
lot,
knew
With
that
some
was,
grading. The one we need the positive
questioning that.
determination on is
I
lot
was
3.
questioning that.
And I'm looking for
I was going
reasoning.
back and forth on that.
That was the first one we did.
I was going
Right,
back and
lot
forth
three.
on
The
that.
3,
Because
yeah.
there's no disturbance in the buffer zone. I don't see what I can file.
Out.
With
I was going
DEP.
back and forth on that.
There's,
On this one, it's not going, it's going back and forth on that. He's right.
I just don't want to,
He's
I
right,
thought
it's right
3 we
there.
said no.
no, 3, you said yes.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you
Three.
said-
that's why,
yes.
that's why we filed the full notice of intent for lot 2, because there's
Right
disturbance in
here.
the buffer zone.
Right.
He's right. That's why I was going back and forth on that.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
So,
does someone want to file a motion for reconsideration?
I file a motion for reconsideration on lot 3.
Is there a
Plus
second?
two.
Is there a second?
We
Second
just
that.
went back and forth on this one.
Is there a
Lot
second?
3. I couldn't decide if it was going back and forth. That's why I was looking at this one. This is the hammerhead that came down, and that's the one that's inside the 50 feet that we were talking about. That's the one that's inside the 50 feet.
With the hammerhead, correct, yeah. And that's there's a full notice of intent.
Yeah.
for that lot.
It's right there. That's why I kept looking at this one. Abutting right here.
Seconded.
It's right on that edge.
She's concerned about it right here.
It's right on the edge.
She's concerned about
What do
right
you
here.
think?
Yeah, well, basically because it's down
Yeah,
grade.
'cause it's the
Right,
bottom.
it's at the
Where's
bottom
your
of all
map? Do you still have your map
Yeah,
here?
it's great to see.
He can't
Can't
show,
do it
no.
again?
No,
No, no,
Okay.
We
no.
closed the public
Close the
hearing.
public
No,
hearing,
no.
so-
All right, so right now,
You're gonna have to call it.
we've
You
issued,
call it.
well, wait,
Well, can I, before we do this?
yes, that's why we're having a discussion.
Even though these, the resource areas are outside of the buffer zone, it was my belief that we issued a positive determination based on the impact
Of what was
of,
going on.
of what was going on and the amount of water and the amount of work being done. So even though it's outside of the jurisdiction, but the amount of stormwater and runoff that are going to be affected,
I think part of the problem is that we haven't seen any drainage calcs, have we?
The calculations
in that
for the entire,
calculations
all
in
5
the-
lots is what the drainage report was for. And that's been reviewed and approved by the town's consulting engineer. That included lots 3, 4, and 5. It was for the whole 120
Did you do, did he do a 100-year storm analysis?
We did,
Yeah,
yes.
it's in there, I saw it in there. In this one.
Information
It's in
that's-
this one, and we're just seeing it now.
Because the planning board's looking at the whole,
The totality, I
the
get it.
totality, not just the buffer zones, they're looking at everything that's going on. So the review was authorized for
I understand.
everything.
Yeah.
The 100-year storm report is towards the back. I saw the calculations for it.
I mean, it's just so many tables and charts and.
Well, that's right.
So the way the report reads, it doesn't say lot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it has control points, so
Yeah,
all
and
that area flows to
that's
that,
part of the problem.
it
That's,
flows to the wetland.
It should be lots.
Well,
Right, so it affects the
This
resource
big
area.
whole issue.
there's no flows within.
the proper way to do the analysis is to look at the entire parcel, everything that goes to the
It's right
the
over
reach, which is the wetland.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what was done in the report, and that's what was reviewed and approved by the consulting engineer.
Where existing, okay. So the end of this is way up here.
I couldn't remember if it was 5 or, sorry. And this comes down. And that road hits. 1, 2. That comes in here. 50 fill. See where the 50 fit? That's the 100. Here's the 50. Here? That's the 100, so where's the 50?
Halfway between here and there.
And that's
So
the
the main,
road.
all of the drainage is coming to this detention basin and it's coming out down here. It's pretty far away from the wetlands. And, I mean,
But you're
I'm-
considering drainage as, drainage is not
yeah,
resource.
That's what you were looking at.
I think we may be able to reconsider that one, in my opinion.
All right,
This
so
is lot
actually,
3. This is the one, this is the NOI.
So lot 3 was just an RDA.
I mean,
Right,
Yeah,
that's
it's
idea, yeah.
alright. So in here.
1 and 2 and a.
Existing conditions don't have this. So that's, yeah, it's right next to the wetland. Right, this is on the plan of attack?
well, it's really this way. See, if you, on the plan they showed us, it's at the bottom,
I understand what she's saying about this.
and so it flows down that way.
I mean, the vegetation issues.
Yeah.
Now, is elevations go down to the line?
I'm just saying on the plan that was shown to us. This is flip you around.
This is pleasant.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to suggestions.
This is done.
Well, there is a motion for reconsideration, which was seconded. We haven't voted on that. So,
Was it seconded?
I didn't second it.
No,
not
I
the
wasn't
second,
seconded.
the first
all right,
one.
all right. So there's basically a motion of reconsideration.
I'll second.
All right.
I could think, I did put that out.
There's a motion to reconsider the positive determination that was made for lot number 3, and has now been seconded. Is there any discussion?
I just want to understand which way the water's flowing and, you know,
Well, the water's flowing, it's flowing down.
So it's coming.
It's coming down. It's going to sheet down this way.
Has to come down.
Okay. This on this plan, it's shown here. It's shown in this direction, but it's actually, you know, it's flowing that way.
this is 690, 700, 720, 730. All right, I'll be
It's right here.
There were two big sheets
There's a big sheet in that one that's saying,
that would have been inside of it, or just,
You really can't.
I know. I'm
yeah, trying to help. Thank you.
biting my tongue. There should have been 2 subcatchment maps. That
You know
were
what? I have
actually
a better idea. Is there a motion to reopen the public hearing?
So
I
moved.
moved to,
Oh,
yeah,
so
re-
moved.
Do
All right.
this,
Is
yes.
there a second?
I'll second
Is
that.
there any discussion?
Absolutely.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed to vote. All right, the public hearing is now reopened, specifically with regard to lot number 3.
Okay.
Sir, would you like to come up here
Yeah,
and
I would
explain
love
to us
to.
why?
what's going on here.
No, well, with that, there was 2 large sheets that were,
I don't see them. But this is what
They
we're
weren't
saying.
in the book, or are you saying?
they were
here they
rubber
are, here
banded
they
to
are.
them. Rubber, I mean, that's a word, but
This is it.
Oh, that would have been
No,
helpful.
no, that's not it.
they,
That's why I should
are
just
they
read.
those over there? Those 2 large,
Right
folded up?
here.
No,
Give
No,
it-
Right here? Those
no,
are the
those-
original.
that's the old plan.
Those are
that's the old
ones,
plan. All right, well, I know where they go anyways, so.
This is much better picture of it. Oh, I know exactly what you're saying. Further up. On 3.
Under point storm management.
There we go. Oh, look at that.
Specifically,
Yeah,
show us
so
where the
here
wetlands
it
are
is
on
lot
lot
2.
3.
Much
Where's
better.
lot 3?
All right.
No,
So-
that is it, right there, lot 3. It is at the bottom of lot
So the-
3.
Yes, I said
Where's
that.
3?
This is the wetland. This one that says 100 BBW is the 100-foot buffer zone. Right at the edge of my grading here.
Okay, where's 3? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I see it.
1, 2, 3.
Right there.
You located?
So, without having the subcatchment map with me, but I have a good idea of how all these flows played out because I did this a few times with the analysis. So this whole area, you can see, is essentially a break that kind of runs from the house, that kind of comes down through. You can see how these existing contours kind of flail out. This one's going that way, this one's going that way. And you can see how it kind of breaks and then kind of comes down through here. So everything on this side was going this way. The rest from essentially up back here,
Which is what, 4?
correct, kind of comes down and makes its way essentially this way and then kind of flows this way and keeps coming down towards this direction. You can see right here where there's not a lot of existing grades. It kind of flattens out right through here, so, and there's a little hump. So all the water that comes through here, from here over, goes down, but everything else makes its way this way.
And the construction of the detention basin is right outside the 100-foot buffer zone.
This, yeah, it's about, I'd say it's about
I thought
50
that
feet
was the-
outside the
That's where
buffer
I was.
zone.
It's right there.
Is
what you
that the
just said.
100?
That's the-
Or Oh, I thought you said it was
correct,
a 50.
The 50 is the
Well,
interval.
this one is outside the 50.
Okay.
So here, this
right,
wetland
all right.
line, 50
So it is the
foot.
That's
50,
why.
I was
So from
confusing
50
those
to
two.
100 on lot 2, which we filed the notice of intent on,
Right.
there's some grading
Gotcha.
here and here. There's no grading with the detention basin, the outlets outside the 100-foot buffer
This is
zone.
the 3, okay.
It's lot
1, 2,
3,
3,
yes.
4, 5.
All right.
I was confusing this 100-foot with the 50 with this. I was
Okay.
confusing those.
No, I
two.
mean, it's
Are we clear?
it's hard to keep them all
Yeah,
straight.
no.
This one we filed a full notice of intent on because I
Okay.
knew we were in the
I did
buffer
too.
zone.
Right.
And
Gotcha.
we'd be doing clearing and grading and all that stuff.
This
This one was an RDA because if anything, it might have been 2 feet of grading within the 100-foot zone, but we worked to keep essentially everything out of there.
All the disturbance and all that movement and a lot of.
Yeah, I know, but
exposed-
they're outside.
Yeah,
They're outside.
they're outside the 100 feet.
I thought you were in the, I
Yeah.
thought you were
Pretty
in
sure if
the, I
it's
thought you were
going
in
to
it
affect
on
the
that
resource
one.
area
My whole
within
contention is
jurisdiction.
though, even though if it was 500 feet out of the zone,
Right,
if it's going to impact it, even though it's not within 100,
I agree.
the only thing for me that's like a red flag is when I look at here, and the way he's explaining the water sheeting that way, but when you go from here to here, which is approximately, let's say, 100 feet,
Yeah.
you look how close those lines are, that's a significant amount of pitch. And the thing is, if
Oh, yeah,
we
it's
were to get
steep
a
right
big,
there.
yeah,
Steep.
if we were to get a big storm, basically,
Where's the other?
You know, actually, I have a compromiser. I have a, well,
An idea,
I have an idea.
an
yes.
epiphany?
No, I wouldn't say an epiphany. It's not that. It's not,
Not that good?
profound.
No?
No, it's,
Not that exciting?
excuse me. It's good enough.
It's
all right?
okay.
We'll take it.
All right. You say that the detention area that's going to be constructed is about 50 feet away from the 100-foot buffer zone, correct?
Yeah, plus or minus.
Plus or
what we're down
minus.
there, okay.
One possibility would be, because there's going to be disturbance when the detention basin is put in, that there be hay bales and a silt fence constructed around the construction site. Even though technically it's outside the 100-foot buffer zone, then would that allay the concerns of the board?
So for the record, we do have erosion control shown
I was
on
just
these
gonna
plans
say.
all the way around here. I mean, we're not looking to not do any protection down here. Oh, no,
understand.
not by any means. So there's a perimeter line of erosion controls that comes around the entire site, and then we have those
And
intermittent
that's what silt fence
erosion
and hay
control-
bales?
Correct, yeah.
It says that they're gonna do that with this too. like
Correct, and
everywhere,
it's, yep,
right?
and it's on the,
Yeah, I'd be happy with
if
2
you,
layers.
yeah, if you
of that.
cite the plan, well, the decision would reference the plan, if it's built in accordance to the plan for Lot 3, and it shows the erosion controls, it shows the intermittent erosion controls, it has all the notes on it. We're not trying to skirt any of those requirements by any
Understood.
means. And we're over 5 acres of disturbance, we're going to file a full NIPD's permit, stormwater inspections. That applies to every single lot here. So each lot is going to have its own stormwater pollution prevention plan, and each lot's going to have a set of inspections for, lot 1, lot 2, so we're going to be 5 sets of inspections, essentially every week. Walking the erosion control line, making sure that the silt fence is still standing. If there are areas where it's rutting, you look to put some check dams in or do a temporary basin or swale to slow the water down. I mean, those are all things that, if those issues arise during construction,
Why not
we're
do it ahead of
required.
time and be more conservative?
They're gonna, no, they're saying,
But
he's saying he's gonna do it.
you're required. It's a
Yeah.
federal permit that you're filing.
Right.
So if we don't follow that permit,
More of that stuff to
we can be
use.
fined $20,000 a day. If somebody reports us, then the NIPD's people
understand.
come out. That's how those permits work.
I think that's kind of why I was thinking, like the silt fence, or doubling up the silt fence.
Could you-
You
10%.
had to file those for the other projects, right?
NIPD's permits?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they've all been filed. Yeah.
Okay.
Mike, could
Can
you
you-
repeat that, what you said? I'm sorry.
What I would suggest then is maybe you could send us just a copy. I mean, if you need to redact stuff, I understand that, but if you could just send us a copy of the permit that you submitted, the application.
Oh yeah, we'll send because what you typically do with those is I'll create a booklet. It'd be about 200 pages thick. I'll have all sorts of requirements of what to do, how to do the inspections, the inspection forms. It has language from the NIPD's program that's mandatory to be included in that booklet. And then you file for the permit. It's online. It's like a 3-page form that goes into the NIPD's website, and you are granted a week later. You get your permit. So
Right.
you can't start construction
Until
until
you
you
get the
have
permit.
that in hand. That's
I
the
understand.
first thing you have to have. So we'll be more than happy to copy you guys on those documents once they're
But the
created.
straw wattles
And
and
once
silt
the
fence permit erosion controls need to be shown, both. So it does show straw wattle and silt fence permit erosion controls are shown on,
And
so
the third
both of them
Yep.
are shown on them.
And then we have intermittent ones as we get into, after the trees are cleared, we'll establish the intermittent ones as we go through each lot, as we work our way back.
And weekly, you're going to check on them.
Yeah, we
Required.
have, we have to send a weekly report.
That a double.
Actually, it was
So-
absence.
Okay.
By law, the booklets are required to be on site somewhere. So all 5 of these NIPD's booklets, along with the reporting documentation for every inspection, is required to be kept on site. So if somebody from the NIPD's program comes in and says, "Where's your documentation?" they can shut you down if you don't have all your ducks in a row with that stuff. And I've seen it happen before. They do come out.
Again.
Large sites like this, it happens.
So if there is impact to a resource area, can we have jurisdiction in the middle of this process?
If
If like.
If
something
we have a
were to blow
blowout and
Yeah.
sediment gets into the buffer zone, or
enforcement order.
yeah, then you, yeah.
All right, well, I would be comfortable with the negative determination if you'd be considering, if you could consider possibly putting double silt fence on the really steep spots. I just think there's no reason not to. A little bit extra isn't gonna hurt.
We can make it conditional.
Sure.
That-
All right.
Just my signature.
Is there any other discussion? Okay, let's do this again.
Do this.
Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion that.
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed to vote. All right, now, we had previously
Thank you, Nick.
moved to issue positive determination for Lot 3. And I believe there was a motion for reconsideration filed by Carolyn, second by Tom. Correct? So, is there any discussion on the motion for reconsideration?
It was actually seconded by Michelle, but that's
Okay.
okay.
All right, fine. I want to give credit where credit's due.
Okay.
If there's no discussion, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? It's a vote. Okay. So now we have vacated, well, wait a minute. Is there a motion to vacate the positive determination made for Lot 3?
So moved?
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote.
Okay.
Okay. Now, with regard to Lot 3, we vacated the positive determination. What is the will of the board concerning Lot 3?
We asked to add a special condition.
Well, so basically, is your motion for a negative determination based on the condition that the double silt fence be installed?
That is exactly
Sounds that way.
my motion.
Okay.
Sit fence, but it was in a certain area, right? In the steep.
Just on the steep slope of Lot 3 there.
Okay.
So we're saying it's
Do we need to
negative
be more
determination
specific?
based on. I don't think it would hurt if you be a little bit more specific.
You want to make reference to the plan of March
Should we just
14th?
say
Well, if you have a specific area in
on the
mind.
eastern project boundary?
Maybe you could give me the number on the bottom of that map.
This is site plan C
There's a
dash,
few of them for this one. though.
but for March 14th, it's, make sure it's the right one.
C-1.
Yes, Lot 3. This is C-2.3A.
And it might also continue off.
2.3,
And then there's also C-3.3A, but this is
3.3.
Yeah, that's
3.3, yeah.
There we go.
So I would just say along that eastern property project boundary.
Eastern is shown on that plan.
on C-2.3B,
Yeah.
the March 14,
Okay,
2018 plan.
C-2.3B.
B.
Okay.
Yeah. I
2.3B
think that'll
and
be,
3.3A also.
give me peace of mind.
Okay.
All right. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. All right, gentlemen.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
Sorry about
Thank you.
that.
No, sorry. Sorry. confused those two designations.
Thank you
I-
for,
Yeah, thank you for clearing that up.
When I looked
Try
on
to
this,
get those
confused
out
those
tomorrow
two.
for you.
A nice easy night, right?
because of those topo lines,
One meeting. All right.
that's what I was thinking. I know it was outside, but that is steep. And then on here, it says, it's showing it as 34 degrees, and they're not gonna go over
Oh, wait a
25.
It's, what?
What?
It says 34 degrees?
No, no, no.
Oh,
Originally, it was shown, but they're not gonna go over 25.
okay.
No, we're just talking. We're just,
Yeah. There's
Is that
no,
right here?
there's no grading over 24 degrees. This is-
right.
Okay.
But originally, it was
Yeah.
34 degrees.
Okay.
That's why, when you saw that, it was,
And now it's not. Those are the decisions ultimately
Correct.
signed.
Yes,
oh, we haven't had one of those in
I know.
a long time. But,
Oh, that was interesting.
okay, it was good. You know what?
Yeah, interesting, won't work for it.
That's okay.
It's fine. It's okay.
Does anyone want these to clip their maps together? What are we doing?
Sure.
No.
sorry, I'm not,
Might not be big
I
enough.
might burn mine.
Thank you.
Yep.
It's okay.
And you've got the
Good,
big
I
ones
lived
still,
below that
Michael, that
lake.
I wanted to
So,
keep there. I think I just
okay.
had one.
Oh,
set,
you
the
can
big
take
ones
these
that I-
back. You can
No,
take
you
these.
can keep the little ones if you want. I just needed the big ones.
here.
All right.
Okay, take mine.
You don't want yours either?
No, I really don't. No, but
Okay.
thank you for offering.
All right.
Yeah, that's good.
So a couple of things I took away from the conference, should we talk about this now or after?
Sure.
Whatever.
You're passing around signature pages, right?
Yes, they're on their
Okay,
way.
thank you. Sure.
These are two.
So, yeah, I can multitask, I can listen and sign.
I was just thinking, based on what I heard there, that it would be good if we had a list of active projects. You know, sort of like keep it in my mind, like what are the addresses, you know, if I'm driving around, that kind of thing. I feel like I personally haven't been doing maybe my part of being that inspector kind of person where we're
Okay.
supposed to be looking at our own town and making sure they're doing what they should be doing. So maybe if we had a list, I don't know, personally for me, it would help just keep in mind what's actually ongoing.
Okay.
There.
Oh wait, am I signing all of these?
All of them.
Yes.
And then, I went over the other thing.
Oh, you don't want those? They're for you. Yeah. These are, you should get a copy.
So you really found the conference to be valuable?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have two.
And then the second thing was to not feel like we shouldn't ask for a peer review, especially with complicated plans like these.
Yeah.
You know, we're not gonna be able to read that stormwater plan and know if they're bull crapping us or if it's just totally.
What often happens is that on bigger projects, the planning board actually does that, where they will hire Graves Engineering.
And we can sort of like share the.
And we do,
Oh,
in
yes,
fact.
yeah.
We're gonna be walking that site, I'm sure, at least a few times, my
yeah.
guess.
Definitely to inspect erosion control.
Huge.
Yes.
That's a huge site. It's a buggy.
And just keeping
Buggy
in mind
and
these
steep.
low impact
I just-
design,
Really?
I honestly
all
can't even
kinds of
fathom
things that they
how.
can, you know, that's what I was mentioning,
how
you have
do we
these
go about
spider outlets
getting rid of
where you're not
all
just
the
having one
small
discharge point,
trees
you're
with the rock and
spraying it
everything,
out,
like it- I
you
mean,
know,
it's
just
just
stop
like,
points.
it's
Just
the
went
outback.
over
It's
all
like,
these different kinds of things that were very
that's
interesting.
that's
but,
like
you know, just trying
the
to keep
outback in Australia.
I'll control.
Bushwhacking through there.
greener kind of practices.
I'll control the traffic.
You know, we want to
All right.
promote that,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
I think that's a fabulous idea.
I like that.
And there should be no discharge to post-construction things until a professional engineer has certified it, and that might already be something we do, but.
I think it is, actually.
Okay. We have a couple of other things on our agenda if if you have the strength to do it.
Same here.
I think we can do it.
Yeah, so, in fact, why don't we defer the meeting, if no one minds, let's defer the meeting minutes until the next
I
meeting.
think that's a fabulous idea.
Thank you. So anyway, I received a call from, it wasn't from you, Sheila, was it?
No?
I got, to make a long story short, I think we all recall the situation on Warman Road in Miss Samia and Pioneer Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what happened is that a builder went in there and without really getting or determining whether the site was appropriate for building, went ahead and got a building permit and built it. basically there's a pond in the backyard. And so what's happened is that because of the disturbance and filling in a property, the adjacent property owner at 2 Waterman Road started getting flooding in her yard. So the builder retained Glenn Kravosky, and over the course of at least 2 or 3 months, I think, took steps to mitigate the problem. And it appeared, the last time we saw them, which probably would have been, what, late spring of last year, it appeared that the issue had been resolved. Well, we're informed that Miss Zambia complained of flooding in her backyard again. And so, and I'm also informed that the property has been sold to an individual or to a family. I don't know who the owner is. That's easy. We can easily determine that. So my thought is that we should just take a look.
Oh, the guy doesn't own it anymore?
He was the builder.
Mr. Fine doesn't.
Richard Fan was the.
Oh, he doesn't own it anymore.
Is he trying to build on that other lot next door now still?
I don't know what he's
That
doing
one to the
because I haven't
left
been
of
out
it
there.
is-
All right. So in any event, I think at a minimum that we should take a look out there. I think the weather this weekend's going to be okay, and I don't think it'll take us, frankly, very long to take a look. You know, what I don't know is if the water that's there is because of a high water table. I don't know what the issue is, to be honest with you. We also don't know if there was flooding in that area before the adjacent land property was
That other
built
guy
on.
that we met said that there wasn't.
I understand.
Yeah, he keeps saying that there was.
yeah.
He was like,
Yeah.
yeah. Everybody's hating on that guy.
The soil.
So the question is, you know, but I think before we issue an enforcement order on anyone, we have to take a look.
Have we talked to anybody at CVS again?
I mentioned that last meeting, I think I was.
I mean, I'm not, I mean, look, if CVS has snow in the parking lot and they're pushing it to the back of the lot so that it migrates down the slope and it causes a potential flooding problem, then it's on them, and there are things they can do to fix it.
I printed those off
You know what, I don't know when,
I don't know when
March
she took
2nd?
those, but
It says March 2nd on
It
one
doesn't
of
say
them.
March 2nd.
Oh, no, that's me.
Tom just looked at them. I
One
printed
picture,
those off.
the lattice is up against the fence, and the other one is floating in the water, so I don't know.
oh, you're
Yeah.
Unless there was, you know, a couple pieces.
Yeah.
But there's
They
definitely.
really, I printed them off.
Yep, so let's take a look.
We need to take a look.
It seems like it always happens in the spring, and it's the run-up
I
of
know.
the snow.
I'm saying, where did they put their snow? That was my question last time, when that was, we said,
And I
that was a
think
good
it's,
question.
I don't think that, I think that they're supposed to be removing it, right? Didn't we look to see if
To where?
CVS was supposed to be removing
I
the
don't
snow?
I don't know that we ever issued
We don't know.
an
Just the
enforcement order.
topography alone would lead me to believe that it's just a low point. I mean,
Well, yeah,
this
and
is the
frankly,
same
it should
level
never have
as-
been built on in the first place.
No.
And to the point where they actually, revise the form so that potential applicant has to make a determination whether or not the Wildlands Protection Act or the bylaws or regulations apply. So
So is
anyway,
everyone just going to visit that site
yes, so
when they
why don't
can?
we, well, I was going to suggest 9 o'clock on Saturday if that's
I
agreeable.
can't make 9, I could do it earlier. I
Okay.
wouldn't mind driving by earlier and just taking a look at it.
Okay, that's
Sending out
fine.
an email.
All right. How about
I
you all?
I think so, but I'd have to double check.
I
Okay,
can.
I can do it.
okay, great. Then why don't we plan to do that?
Saturday night meeting, where?
I mean, we can go, we haven't been out to breakfast
I
in a
think
while.
that that's a fabulous idea.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you approved
Yes.
it.
So,
Fabulous.
I think we should have breakfast at 9 though?
No, 8.
Oh, at 8, I'll still have it at 8, okay, and it'll be there at 9.
And then basically, as soon when we finish, we can just head out there.
Okay.
Okay?
It's
All
right
right.
around the corner.
right.
I can scare all of you guys again with my driving.
They have a
good.
Mexican omelet now,
Oh,
the
put you
Heritage.
guys-
See that? You're
Put them
going to
on the
Mexico,
right
so.
hand. Put them on the right-hand side for my.
Okay, all right, I'll
Maybe
Alright, we
we'll
got
have
that?
Carolyn
When are you
drive.
leaving, Michelle?
The 18th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's going for another trip.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay. And I think that's it.
We had that plastic bag ban, but we weren't going to really do anything on that.
Right.
And then the
I'm
minutes.
getting an award.
Yeah, that's it.
Did you guys already talk about that?
Do you have members?
We haven't
Yeah,
really
I
talked
do.
about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Their son lives across
So,
the street. He was
but we can
telling
talk
me
about it at the next meeting.
They were gonna go
So
somewhere
why
else.
don't you carry it
but they
over to
decided
our
to
next
go
All right, I'll leave it on the agenda.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Well, I must say, this is the longest meeting we've had in some time. Thank you for your patience. No, it's good. I mean, that's, look,
No, that's what you're supposed to be
Let's
doing.
discuss anything.
That's what we're supposed to-
Someone's gonna make a motion to
we're
adjourn.
going to put it over to the
Oh,
next meeting.
thank you.
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting if there's no
Second.
further business.
That's
I'll
outstanding.
second that.
Standing.
Go.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed to vote.
Okay.